So let's talk about the road, how we got here this week. So hopefully this will take 15 minutes. It's only 5 slides, so that means I have to spend what, 3 minutes per slide? So, so let's talk about how we got here, right? Because I think this is important, and in doing so, I want to give some people some props. But what the hell did I just do? Oh, I know what I did. There's this nice little button you can blink the screen. So, how many people are members of DevOps Minneapolis? A fair number of you. For those of you who aren't, I suggest that you get on this event and subscribe and become a member. And this is really where DevOpsDays Minneapolis got started. So this was founded, so it says it was founded in September of 2012. Really the first meetup was in December of 2012. It was founded by a guy who's not here. He's nursing his hangover right now. But this guy right here, you might have seen him yesterday, Stathi Tulumis. And he's actually living in Chicago, but he founded this meetup and got it going and got great speakers and great people to participate, like Jeff. So Jeff, who is our speaker this morning, was one of the first members of this group. But it's been a really great group. And what's awesome is, so we have 461 people that are members. And obviously, we have a lot more people that we need to get to be members, because not everybody in the room raised their hand. But if we look at this group, and if we look at how much it's grown, it's actually been pretty awesome, right? So 461 people in a meetup in 18 months is actually, I don't know if you have run meetups or anything like that before. That's actually a lot of people. So that's really awesome. And what it really does is it speaks to the tech community here in Minneapolis, right? And how passionate and powerful you guys are. So if we look at it on a nationwide scale, so one of the first meetups for DevOps was actually Chicago. And Chicago is pretty large. And I have some stats that I can actually read to you. So Chicago is, let me make this font bigger so I can actually read it. Yes, Chicago is in Illinois. Thank you. Smart ass. I used to live in Chicago. Chicago also has a sports team, which is really, really horrible. So Chicago has 768 members, but they were founded in August of 2010. And they only have 768 members, and they've been going for almost 4 years now. So Triangle DevOps in Raleigh-Durham, 732, and they were founded in 2011. Boston, 502 members. They were founded in October of 2011. Silicon Valley, which you would think that would be the really big one, and it is actually the biggest circle up there, but only 1,300 members, and they've been going for 4 years as well. Seattle, 633, Austin, 593, Boulder, 399, and Boulder is the one that's actually closest to when Minneapolis was founded. But Minneapolis, 461, and we got started really in December of 2012. So big props to you guys for making Minneapolis what it is, right? And what's awesome is you actually see this little cluster of meetups here in the Midwest. And yes, Ohio is technically part of the Midwest. It's as far east as you can go in the Midwest. And so this is actually my home meetup here in Columbus, Ohio. So everyone's so Patrick, he's up there somewhere. There he is. So I was talking with Patrick the other day in the hotel in the lobby, and he's like, "Why are you here? Why? Thanks, JP. Trying to kill time here, right?" Right. So I live in Columbus, Ohio, and I run the meetup in Minneapolis, mainly from the perspective of, well, it was something I needed to do with my job. But the other part is that it's really fucking fun, sorry, to run these, right? And to participate and to build these tech communities throughout the Midwest. So I grew up in St. Louis. Don't hold that against me. I was born in Illinois, I've lived in Chicago, and now I live in Ohio, right? So I'm Midwest, born and raised. Most of my family is from a small town called Decatur, Illinois, in central Illinois near Springfield, and I was actually born in Springfield. So this here is actually really important to me, right? And Sathi and I actually came out and we're like, all right, so at the beginning of the year, we're like, we need to have a DevOps Days in this. Because if you look at the DevOps Days map and the previous DevOps Days that happened, can anyone guess where all the DevOps Days in America had actually happened? Over here or over here? And then Austin, but Texas isn't technically, like, Texas is their own country, right? But it was essentially here, here, and here. And this market was not being served at all. And even Boulder, like, hadn't had a DevOps Days, which they're supposed to have a DevOps Days coming up soon. But, like, we do some really awesome stuff here in the Midwest. And, like, our thought was we need to have a DevOps Days in the Midwest, mainly to get the community going, but also to highlight the awesome stuff that we're doing here in the Midwest. Can anyone tell me a significant DevOps tool thingy that came out of Chicago? Graphite. Thank you very much, John. So there he is, over there, sorry. Yesterday you were setting up there. So graphite, right? So graphite, you don't know, maybe you don't know this, but graphite actually came out of Orbitz in Chicago, right? And then Etsy picked it up and then it became really popular. But we do some really awesome stuff here in the Midwest, so let's highlight it. So we had a meetup in February, and it was, so you notice here, this meetup is called a casual mixer. We also call it a drink up as well. So we had a drink up in February with a lot of awesome people. Bridget was there. Tony was there. Where's Tony? Tony. And some other people were there. And Jeff was there. Not that Jeff, but the other Jeff. And we said, all right, we're going to do this. We need to have a DevOps Days in Minneapolis. We think, so Stathi and I thought that they were the strongest community, or you're the strongest community, that could actually pull a DevOps Days off. Chicago is a strong community, but there's some flakiness from time to time. Sorry, Chicago. I'm getting to you. Hush your mouth. What? Pittsburgh is technically not in the Midwest. It's in the east. So Ohio is... All right, moving on. So we had this meetup, or drink up, and Bridget was recruited at that. And this is the email that I got from Bridget. It was really awesome, though, right? When you read it and you get it, and it's like, you see immediately like how passionate she is and how excited she is. And at that point, we knew that this was going to be really, really successful. I blocked out your email address, so. And my next slide is blank. God. So PowerPoint crashed on me, and now my next slides are blank. Damn it. Because apparently it wasn't saved, and autosave only had the... So on the next slide, there were supposed to be other things here. There was supposed to be actually a picture of all of you, right? And so we've given a lot of props to the organizers and the sponsors and everybody else. But like, let's give us a big round of applause for everybody in the room, because you are the community that made this happen, right? It's not about the organizers. So it's not about the organizers, it's not about the sponsors, but it's about you guys who can actually, and women, sorry, I say guys, ladies and gentlemen who can come here and actually learn and want to learn and participate in the community. And this is why we have this DevOps Days Minneapolis. So I'm really excited that this happened. So Chicago, there was supposed to be like the Chicago logo and everything. Who besides Matt can tell me when will DevOps Days Chicago be? October 7th and 8th. Very good. So there were flyers hanging out on the tables. DevOps Days Chicago, October 7th and 8th. So we have spearheaded the Midwest. You have spearheaded the Midwest. And now Chicago is going to copy off of us. Of course. Yes, and Chicago will talk about what they're doing and the awesomeness that they're going to bring to the table.